I'm even drinking my boiling cane cola to celebrate the good times I've been having with this NFL draft. And I woke up early, got soda pumping into me to dig into day 2 when the Dolphins get their shot to add a young guy. I'm real excited. You know, I want the Dolphins to do as good as possible. But the AFC East has really juiced itself up. The AFC has really juiced itself up. And just from a football standpoint, I'm just really excited. This draft has bolstered teams throughout the AFC, especially the AFC East. And I was watching a movie called Jeremiah Johnson, old Robert Redford movie. I watch it every couple of years. My wife never seen it. I sat down with her and watched it. And there was a great line at the end of the movie where the mountain man comes up to Robert Redford. He says, hey, Pilgrim, you know, these native tribes, their prestige comes from how powerful their enemies are. And it was really a poignant thing. My wife stopped and said, well, what does that mean? If you're around and you're surviving and you have powerful enemies, that means you are powerful. And I forgot who it was in the comments had said, the Patriots kind of ran roughshod for 20 years. They were talented, they were great and all sorts of stuff. But there was the Three Stooges in the AFC East with the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins. That's not going to be the way it is anymore. Every team took a step forward. And this day 2 is going to be huge. This is going to be a big deal because these teams, all 4 of them, need to have a good day 2 to continue to build their teams to compete in the AFC East, which is going to be very tough, and a very tough AFC. And no team here, you know, the Jets, they're not really going to take the division, but they could be spoilers. But the Bills, you know, Bills fans are saying, well, we got Allen, it's locked, and, you know, no, it's not. I'm a huge fan of Allen. I'm a Fins fan who, before last offseason, was saying, when is Allen going to get generational talk? Believe in the kid, think the kid's probably the top 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the league, and he'll overtake that. I think he's going to end up being the best. But I had Dan Marino. I watched Dan Marino go nowhere. I watched the Bills with Kelly, who was a good quarterback, but nowhere near Marino, beat Marino because he had a better team. So the Bills, as good as they are, as good as Allen is, they need to square away some stuff because they're not going to be given the AFC East title again. Then the Dolphins, you know, a lot of fans, Fins fans seen them do a lot of good stuff in this offseason, put a lot of talent, but they're not going to just blow it out and, oh, now we got McDaniel and we're going to run the football and pass the football and no one's going to stop us. No, there's thin parts on the Dolphins that if they're compromised to injuries and they have a rookie coach, they can run into problems. And the Pats are always lurking. The Pats aren't going to be given anything, but they're building. What is Matt going to do year 2? What is Bill going to do with the rest of this draft? They need to stop the run. They need to stop the run and be able to throw the football more effectively. Can they? Well, they got Park from the Dolphins. What is he going to do? Is he just going to be injured and do nothing? Or is he going to come and have a stellar season and be a cheap way for the Patriots to get yards through the air? Are they going to find somebody to stop the run over here? And they picked up Cole Strange. So all these teams have issues, concerns, and hopes and assets. But this day 2 is going to be very big. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to start off with my Dolphins because we didn't get much love yesterday. We get the 102 pick as compensatory pick at the end of the 3rd round. And there's some real smart guys in the comments who are saying, you know what? Forget about these linemen. We need a linebacker. And I totally agree. We need improvement in the linebacker position. But my concern is that when you get into that late end, you got Quay Walker and Channing Tyndale. These guys could end up being 3-down backs, linebackers, but right now they ain't. And the Dolphins haven't drafted a 3-down linebacker, quality one, since Zach Thomas. Especially not, when you're looking in the middle rounds, it gets very, very difficult. If we could find a 3-down middle linebacker, I would take that over even an offensive lineman. But the problem is it's not so easy to nail that spot there. You can. There's been some fine linebackers taken in that 3rd round range, but we're at the tail end. And it's a lot easier to find yourself an offensive lineman that's going to be productive, that's going to come in that range. So linebackers, Kawhi Walker, I like Channing Tyndale, but they're still not complete. To me, offensive linemen I like a lot. I like Zach Tom. I still think we need help at center. But the problem is, Tim from the comments made a great point that when Belichick grabbed Cole Strange in that 29th spot, it's probably going to start a run in the offensive lineman through that 2nd and 3rd round. And I also think linebackers. I think the Jets are going to kick off. I think the Jets are going for a linebacker with their top pick. So the Finns, they need help at linebacker. They need more support in that offensive line group. Because, we have like 12 guys on the roster, but how many of them are really going to be effective? The Dolphins had historically, I was saying historically bad throughout the season. And then PFF during their run said, oh, they were a top 5 offensive line group. And everyone was saying, well, they're a top offensive line group. And then at the end of the season, they're like, well, it's historically bad. Yeah, it was historically bad. We ran 12 personnel 62% of the time when the rest of the league ran at 24. 23. We have a terrible offensive line, and it could get better. These coaches could come in, aiding Armstead, but it was bad for a reason. We need to make sure this thing is sewn up. And if we can have a good offensive line and run the football, this defense will be taken care of, and linebacker won't be so essential. We were 13th in stopping the run last year with these same linebackers. So to me, I totally get it, but it's still offensive line for me. The Finns really need, they can pick up help, going into the season, some vet getting cut. So it's not the end of the world if they don't find one, but I really would like them to find a young offensive lineman. Okay, Bills, I'm just going back looking over the film, the scouting reports. Trent McDuffie, who went 21 to the Chiefs, or Kaiir Elam, who went to the Bills at 23, which they would have been better off. And it's really, really, I haven't come to a decision. Elam just got such great physical traits. And McDuffie is just a smart guy, very fast, shortish arms, not highly productive as far as interceptions and stuff. So, I don't know. There's going to be these two players, how they play out is going to be a big, big deal. It's going to say a lot. I'm really interested in seeing how it plays out. I think they needed Elam anyway. Some boards had him the 3rd best, some had him 5th best. Guy can play, How quickly he can play will be interesting. To me, though, they had that 2nd round pick at 57 and the 3rd round pick at 89. It's still got to be more offensive line and another defensive back. I think if you can find yourself a quality offensive lineman, there might be a cornerback sitting around for them in that 2nd pick, and then they might go for offensive line in the 3rd round. They did a great job picking up Brown, the tackle, last year. So, but this is where they really need to go because that offensive line is still a little thin. Saffold has had some injury histories. The guy's amazing. But you don't want to go back to fun ball and not being able to run it. The more Bills can run the football, it geometrically increases their dangerousness because then Allen is not the focus. And when he's not the focus, then he comes on you by surprise, and that's going to be very scary for teams. And also, as my friend Tommy says, Bills need to have a team that can accentuate their home field advantage in a cold weather, in the snow, in the windy weather, all that stuff up in Buffalo. They need to run the football. So offensive linemen and stopping the Dolphins' pass attack. I know Tua is not even in the same stadium as Allen, but it's a team game. And if White goes down again, is this Bills secondary really equipped to stop Waddle, Hill, and Gesicki? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it for you guys. I like it for me. But I don't really like it for you guys. So to me, offensive lineman and another defensive back is key. And then you got the Pats. Cole Strange, it was a little, I gotta take my drink here. Cole Strange was a little strange. But when you look at what the Pats needed, they needed a left guard. They got rid of Shaq Mason. Cole Strange really fits the bill of a guy with flexibility who could play center and play guard. And this kid's a real worker. The kid's 100% effort all the time. And when you look at the other offensive linemen, there's some really good ones out there, but I don't know if they fit the bill just like he can. So it was a little odd, but you have to remember that they got a third and a fourth. So what they do with that third and fourth is a combination. If they stayed at 21, they could have found a better player. But Cole Strange, I think, is going to develop. I don't know how well, but you add that third and fourth in there. What do they do with that? They need cornerback help. They need defensive line help. They need help in that defensive box. And they need to stop the run. But they lost a very good cornerback this offseason, so they need to keep bolstering that secondary, those linebackers, those edge players, the interior players. They got a lot of picks. They've got that second at 54, the third at 85, and the third at 94. Pats, they lost a lot of talent, but they're managing their cap. They're going long haul, marathon running with their team, where Dolphins went all in. They're just sprinting. Next 2 years, sprinting, maybe 3. Bills, same thing. The good news about the Bills, they're sure about their quarterback, so they might have to take a year or two, break down and then rebuild up. But they're on a sprint too for the next 2 or 3 years because they have all this talent, all this money invested. Patriots are taking that marathon approach. It's going to be really interesting. If they have success, if they can either beat the Bills or the Dolphins and get into second place with how they're building this team, it's going to be an amazing accomplishment. And I wouldn't put it past them to be spoilers. They're just a pain in you know what. I'm not saying they're going to, but don't count out the Pats. And then there's the Jets. Jets had a great day. Garrett Wilson. The more I watch this guy, I'm really, really intrigued by him. Just going back and watching his tape. This little guy, super fast, just the way he attacks the football in the air. And his physicality, and he's pretty clutch. This guy looks like he's going to be really good. And get him at 10, along with Sauce, and then Jermaine Johnson. I'm still trying to figure out why that guy dropped. Going back and watching tape on this guy, and he looks pretty good. For all these teams to pass on him, either the Jets were very, very smart, or they thought they were smarter than they are. It's going to be very interesting. But for them, they got the second pick at 38 and the third pick at 101. For them, it's linebacker, 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 linebacker. They need to get a linebacker. And Christian Harris from Bama, he's a 3-down guy. He's a little small, 6'2", 226, but he played with Bama. And he can cover. He can stop the run. You're going to have a good front, hopefully with the Jets. Really like him to fit in there. They have no linebacking group. They need linebackers in a big way. And I expect them to go linebacker and no defensive player at that third. But that second one's probably going to be a linebacker. It's got to be. There's such a huge hole for them at the linebacker position. So this is where we're at. As I said, AFC East was the Patriots and the Three Stooges. That's not the way it's going to be. Bills are not going to get an easy ride like the Patriots had. They got a great quarterback. They've got a good system, good front office, great players around them. But it's not going to be the easy ride. especially when you look at all the talent in the AFC. And this AFC East is going to be a fierce division. It's going to be a very, very fierce division. Shouldn't drink the soda. Anyway, got to. I'm going to wake up, man. I'm old. Didn't get much sleep last night. Remember, if you survive strong enemies, you are powerful. And this AFC East, whoever comes out of it is going to be battle tested. And even the Jets are setting themselves up to be a good team in a year or two if Zach Wilson can put himself together. This looks like it could be a 4-dog race in a year or two. Not this year, it's a 3-dog race in this year. But that's exciting news. You know, when your team wins the AFC East, whoever it is, you're going to feel proud that you overcame. You didn't cakewalk. You were like the Colts with Manning all those years, or the Patriots. This is going to be a scalp that the AFC East division title holder can hold up high and say, I earned this. I'm really looking forward to it. So this is Curtis saying thanks for staying to the end. Please like, comment, subscribe. Comments mean the most. Really, really do. Subscribes and likes help us with the Google overlords, keeps us in business, keeps me drinking my cane cola here. So thank you for staying to the end. Catch you next time. It's a big day, big exciting day. Curtis saying, see you soon. Bookies can earn hundreds to thousands of dollars from booking action with aceperhead.com.